getting stuck today. That's difficult. Here we go. That's better. Feel your face in there. Let's do this. Nicely, and here we go. Oh, let's maximize that and have a bit of chat. There we go. You can there you go. The comments are up now. Good evening, friends. Good evening. Oh, hello. Good evening and welcome to Littleport Christian Spiritualists, this fine, cool and relaxing, not to mention fire and toasty Thursday evening at Littleport Village Hall. I hope you've all been enjoying the sunshine. I hope you've all been having a chill, because tonight we have a wonderful night lined up for you. We have healing. We have mediumship. We will swallow a fly. We have healing, we have mediumship, we have philosophy, and we have a reading as well, not to mention tea, coffee, and cake, you know. And I have it on good authority, sausage rolls too. I'm saying no more. But of course, before all of that, we've got plenty to do. So please welcome a very good friend of this church, my buddy and a good friend of this church. Please welcome our medium for this evening, Colin Boswell! And hello to everybody who I can't read at the moment because I've got the wrong glasses on online. There's Cherry Ann, there's Christine, and there's Trace, hello. And I know there's more people on there because I can see the numbers, so don't be shy, say hello. Oh, there's Jen, hello Jen, yeah. So hello to everyone online. Do get involved, have a chat, have a conversation, and be a part of the process. And so a big welcome and thank you to Colin for coming and serving us as ever. Let's begin by opening this evening in prayer. As we say, Great Spirit, divine universal source of all creation, we thank you for the opportunity to come together as friends, to unite under a banner of love, of hope, and of friendship. We also come together, Great Spirit, to witness the proof and the truth that life is indeed eternal. So we ask that you send your helpers, your ministering angels, and the guides and inspirers and the loved ones of those present to assist and work with Colin and his guides, that the veil might be lifted, that proof might be shown upon the world. And so, as we place this service in your care and keeping, we make the statement as ever, that everything we do is in love, in truth, in humility and light. Amen. Well, friends, of course, some notices, because we have come to the end of June already. Who'd have funked it that we're halfway through? You never heard funk before? Oh, I love a good funk. I sit and funk at home about stuff all the time. Who'd have thunk that we'd been halfway through the year already? I got them off on one now. Who'd have thunk that something so innocuous would be so amusing, eh? Oh, it's a good job the microphone's over here and not there tonight, isn't it? But yes, my granddad always used to funk, didn't he, Mum? We can see where the guttural minds are, can't we, Colin? Just be careful over there. But no, who'd have thought, can't win sometimes, can you? Who'd have thought that we're halfway through the year already? And that we're now on our way down that slippery slope to winter. But before that, we, of course, have so much more adventures to enjoy. We've got autumn, where we can enjoy understanding the process of the earth and its ever-increasing cycle of life, where we move from one phase to the next each time we get out of bed and rise and say thank you for at least letting the day start. Of course, we have got a lot to think about in our lives. I can't help myself. That was subtle, wasn't it? Oh, hello. You're right. We've got a lot to deal with in our lives each day. And we have a lot to do in this life. And as far as life is concerned, it is a bit of a wild ride and adventure. For instance, on a subject of the only notices we've really got this week is that, let's see if they're good at the pantomime stuff. We're not here next week. No, we're not. I'm just going to sit. No. We are not here next week, unfortunately, because there is an election. This is a polling station. So there will be no service next Thursday. Thank you. Thank you. At least someone got the prompt. But, good news, from this Sunday and every last Sunday of the month, from here as long as people want it, Littleport Christian Spiritualists is back doing an online service, baby. And behind the green door, no, we're back online with our online services like what we had during the pandemic. Yes, we are returning to Chateau Del Nick and the Boudoir Del Brown for mediumship, upliftment and philosophy every last Sunday of the month. It's important to share as much as we can and grow and evolve as much as we can. So do come along, support, enjoy from the comfort of your own home a message, if that is something that you're interested in. But that's kind of like half in place of replacing the fact that we've got no service next week. This week I'd like to talk about trust. Because I think trust is probably the most important message we can ever discuss in this way of life. Trust for ourselves, trust for each other, and absolutely certainly trust in spirit. One of the things that I've learned in my life is that trust can be very easily taken advantage of and will hold you back from sharing more trust. Whilst I understand the concept and understand the sentiment, my friends, I can never, ever, ever, ever tell you how important trust is in this life. Trust of yourselves, trust of each other, and trust of spirit. And just because one person, one concept, one idea breaks that trust, we should never stop striving to find a place where we can restore that faith and that trust in people, in places, and each other. Because trust is not just about giving up something. Trust is not just about letting something in. It's about opening up yourself to the possibility that there is something bigger and more wondrous out there than just us. And I'm not necessarily talking about spirit or the world of spirit. I'm talking about community. I'm talking about family. I'm talking about friendship. I'm talking about having people to walk along the journey of life with together. Because without that ability, we are alone. We are isolated. But if we can find a little bit of trust in our hearts, we will never be alone. We will always have someone we can reach out to. We will always have someone to lean on. And we will always have people who will trust us enough to be honest with us. We talk about trust all the time in this way of life when it comes to the world of spirit. And for me, that's always been a given. I trust the world of spirit. I trust the Great Spirit. I don't always get it. It doesn't always make sense. But in my experiences, support and help has always been provided for those that need it. And that is what builds trust. Because trust is a two-way street. And it should never, ever be taken for granted. And so when we talk about trust in this way of life, it reminds me of personal responsibility. And it's very unusual for me to go through the lists of the 7 principles in a philosophy, being so obvious about it, but sometimes we must. Because if trust is a two-way street, then so is personal responsibility. I trust in spirit to do this. I trust in spirit to do that. I trust that spirit will help this out. I trust in spirit will do that. But if we have it in our power to do it for ourselves, to make it happen for ourselves, to be that support for ourselves, then it frees spirit up to do other things. And they will trust us to be instruments of their work in the physical. Because we are the living spirit. We are the universe made manifest in this life. And we can be angels and messengers and guides and helpers and supports to each other. That's the true message of spirit. Let the light of spirit that's within each one of you shine like a beacon and help out each other. Every once in a while, whenever you can. Because one thing that I have also learned is that many religions and many ways of life and many philosophies have got a lot of truth in them, but none more so than the Wiccan rule that what you give out, you get back threefold. So when you give out compassion, when you give out kindness, when you give out trust, you get it back threefold. So never, ever, ever give up on trusting. Remember the old saying, being kind isn't a weakness, it's a blessing. So thank you all for listening, and God bless you all. And so now we are going to hand over for our reading for this evening. Recently appointed deacon, don't you know? Please welcome to the front for her reading tonight, the lovely Eunice. More weeks go past, the less I'm going to be able to say. There you go, sweetie.
Thank you very much. Good evening, everybody.
Good evening.
If your get up and go has gone, if you're feeling down, you are not alone, for I see many who often wear a frown. Life can be a bitch at times, but this is plain to see. This is human feeling, and it happens even to me. None of us are perfect, but we try and do our best to master what life throws at us. Perhaps it's just a test. We all have each other. We can ask for Spirit's aid to get through those moments that put us in the shade. For darkness is a moment which we have to fight. With help and love and friendship, we come back into the light. The frown is gone, the smile is back, a happy place to be. A ray of light will come to you. Just look and you will see. I am just a messenger to say this all out loud. You all are very special. Stand tall, be strong, be proud.
So who was spying on who this week?
I'm not sure what you're going to say.
And this is the thing, we never do we? But the irony is, and this is kind of like an aside, and I will share it for everyone, how similar and how resonating with that song is that what you've just read?
Very similar.
Yes. Very similar. Wow. Ladies and gentlemen, Eunice! I feel like I owe everyone an explanation, but I'll make it extremely quick. A song, right. Those that have known me any amount of time know that there's this little trick that I teach people if they want a message for themselves. Ask the radio for a message from Spirit and then turn it on and see what the lyrics are of the song. I was taught it when I first came into this way of life, and I've always passed it on. If you need a message, just say, Spirit, whatever song plays next on the radio, please let there be a message in it for me. And then turn the radio on. It is amazing. I did that on Monday, and I got a beautiful song that is so powerful and emotional. Some of you may have heard of it before. I hadn't, and it's a year old. But I showed it to Eunice just before the service, and it resonates so strongly with that. So I think it's the theme of the week, really. So if anyone is interested, be aware there is a little bit of sweariness in it. Normally, I would say, as a minister, I'm not allowed to recommend things that are a bit sweary. But for the help that that song can give, don't worry about it and just listen to it. I think it outvotes the sweary with the power that it's got. And it's called High Ren by a singer called Ren. And it will change your view on the world. It certainly did mine. And it very much resonated with me as well. So I recommend it to everyone at the moment. If anyone wants a link, I'll share a link to them. But yeah, thank you, Eunice. And absolutely thank you to Spirit for their support and help on that one. Speaking of help and support from Spirit, I'm now going to hand over to our healing leader, Tony, who's going to lead us in sending out our healing thoughts to all those who are sick and suffering in need of comfort, as well as lead us in hands-on healing for all those that want it. As per usual, he'll guide you and direct you on what you need to do, when and where. So be ready to stick your hand up and keep it up until someone stood behind you if you want healing. But please welcome to the front to lead us in healing, Tony. Oh, thank you. Thank you, sir. Suits you, sir.
I know.
Yeah. All fingers and thumbs today. There we go.
That's because you've been thinking. That's what it is. Evening all. I'm not going to do any thinking. Names for you to think of when you're healing somebody this evening. Mr. and Mrs. Flint, Wayne's dad, Liz Mackenzie, Sunil, Pauline Allday, Kathy and David, Debbie? Debbie. Oh dear. Sylvia, Pauline and Alan, Roger and Sheila, and Amanda. So if you don't mind thinking of those few, and anybody else you know that perhaps could do with healing thoughts sent to them. In the meantime, if you would like some healing now, just raise your hand. And if there's some healers in the hall that can find someone, keep your hands up. I'll go if need be. You go there. You'll go. So, if you hang on, I'll do Caroline. Yeah? Okay, so just a few words, please, to our healers. Oh, it's all right. Caroline's now covered. Yeah, fine. As ever, I ask the Great Spirit to send His healing power down through our healers that are operating here tonight to their recipients. So if you would please now, healers, you may commence. Thank you, healers. If you can pull yourselves back now. Thank you, guides and helpers. And as I say every week, thanks to those of you who asked, because there's more than one reason why we do. Thanks a lot. Now, will you all do me a favour and put a smile on your faces? Because this healing business, don't have to make it quiet in here, and that won't do.
One might say that healing inspires a lot of funkin'. Thank you to Tony, and thank you to all of the healers. And again, of course, thank you to everyone who asked. It really, really does make a difference. And so now, it's that moment you've all been waiting for. And believe it or not, we're still on time. Wonders never cease, Colin, and miracles do indeed happen. So I'm going to hand over to Colin in just a second. Should Colin come to you, of course, please answer in a clear voice, yes, no, or don't know. Because let's face it, we're all nosy and want to know what's going on. And plus, if we don't get ourselves a message personally, hearing that confirmation of spirit contact helps prove to us that we are always in the presence of spirit. So don't ever underestimate the power of someone else's message to touch you. That's certainly something I've learned this week. And of course, should we need to evacuate the building, because, you know, safety first, our exits are there, and over there. Follow the lights that, no, wrong show. But do, of course, have a wonderful, uplifting evening. Send Colin your love. Send Colin your support. But most of all, have a wonderful, wonderful evening. As I say, please welcome to the platform our friend, Colin Boswell. Let me plug it in there. There we go. Over to you.
Marvellous, thank you. Oh, what a wonderful introduction that was this evening. Marvellous. Beautiful start to the evening. I must add that the energies in here tonight are stupendous. Can you just feel the change of the energy? Not only the healing, but the wonderful upliftment at the beginning. It's been absolutely marvellous. And it's lovely. It's given me wonderful energies to work with, which is absolutely divine. Now, before I do start, I just might ask anybody here that particularly wants a message this evening to send out that thought to bring their own loved ones here to join us here this evening. And we've put a turnstile on the door, so if they're coming in, they can pop £1 in there. And so just invite your loved ones in to join you, particularly if you'd like them to actually bring you a message this evening. And before I start also, I'd like to ask, any of you who've seen me work before? Are there any of you here that have watched me demonstrate before? There are one or two, and you've come back to see me again, which is marvellous. So thanks for coming along. And to all those who've not seen me work before, I work a little differently, and we're all a bit quirky. I know Nick's a slightly quirky medium. I love the way that he works in his own unique way. But I give anybody that has a message the opportunity to ask Spirit their very own question. So I can hear your minds all ticking away, you know, what can I ask? And so if you have something you particularly would like to find the answer to, I'd like you to direct that question to have a yes or no answer, because if there is any more than the yes or no answer, Spirit will indeed furnish that additional information. So just think of something you might like to ask, and otherwise that opportunity is wasted. But as I was sat there next to Nick and basking in this marvellous energy, I had a very strong male energy come in on my right-hand side. Now, I know this particular individual will be very close. There'll be a very, very strong love connection between the person here that is to get that message. And I do know that this gentleman was a very powerful individual, somebody who was had a great deal of command over the family. He was almost a matriarchal figure, unusually more the dad than the mother. This might be unusual, slightly unusual, I feel, but a very wise man, a very soft-hearted individual. And I do feel his passing was of a cancer condition. I feel that cancer condition was in the upper body, so not quite sure of the cause of that, but it may be something in this upper area here. I do feel, as I being a clairsentient medium, that I feel discomfort around this area, around this esophagus. Did anybody take this information so far? Anybody take this information? I do feel the passing with this man was painful and long and drawn out. Would you accept that? A long road to his passing. Would you understand that? Yeah, of course. Yeah, by all means. Yeah. Would you understand that this gentleman's passing was long and progressive before he actually succumbed? Can you accept that? And as he comes to me, I do know, as I said, he's a very powerful but soft-hearted individual. Can you accept that? In his well years, he was very strong. Can you understand this? Very hard-working man. And I feel he would have been familiar with working on the land. Would you accept that as well? As he comes close to me, I do know that there's very strong love connection between you and himself. And his loss had a profound effect on you. Would you understand this as well? And your life has never been the same without him. And I do feel your mind drifts towards that connection, that mental connection with him very, very frequently. Would you understand this as well? And I do know that he's all around you. He's almost a guide and to your daily life. Would you understand this? Yes. And I do feel May is a connective month between you and this man as well. It's an important month. Would you understand that? And particularly May, more than any other month. Would you understand that? He's telling me this as well. And I feel though within your own life, there's been some anxiety. Would you understand this? And that anxiety has had a detrimental effect on your well-being. Would you understand this as well? There's also been some other health issues which are perhaps responsive to that anxiety. Would you understand this as well? Because he's telling me that he wants you to be uplifted. He wants you to be active and involved with lots more things than you perhaps are doing at the moment. Would you accept this as well? I do feel you do reach out to people when you need help. Would you understand that as well? But a very warm-hearted man. And as I say, very much, as I described earlier, a matriarchal figure within the family, the kingpin of the family. Would you understand this with him as well? But very much an observant gentleman as well. Almost a mind of information. Would you accept that? But as he comes to you, he just wants you to understand that anxiety is pointless. Anxiety is having a terrible and detrimental effect on your mental and physical well-being, because the whole thing creates a crescendo of ill health. And he wants you to feel, particularly now we're in the summer's finally arrived, and that we should feel uplifted. That the energy of the solar energy and everything is so beneficial to your well-being. And there's nothing you like more than a blue sky. Can you accept that as well? Beautiful blue sky, such as what we have here this evening. And he just wants you to kind of float on that energy, to actually to connect with it. Do you ever ground, by the way? Do you ever take your shoes off and just sit there with your bare feet on the soil? You do, because it's the most marvellous and health supporting thing that you can probably do. Much better than any medicines that you may take. Because the amazing thing is, it creates antioxidants within your bloodstream and revitalizes, re-energizes within as little as 20 minutes. It's quite surprising. And but he just wants to know, he wants to give you the most marvellous, great big hug. And who's John, by the way? There's a connection with somebody called John, either around this gentleman.
That could be my birthday.
Sorry?
That could be my birthday.
Oh, I see, yeah.
The first one you're talking about is the man who raised me.
Yeah, I see, yeah. Oh, fine. That's his name was John, yeah. And there's also a Charles I've got to mention as well, somewhere. Charles. Yeah, that is him, yeah. Oh, well, there we are. So they've come in just to validate that, you see, and to bring in that strength of the connection there. And who's the tea drinker that just drinks tea non-stop during the day and hardly ever drinks anything else?
Yeah.
Yeah, there's just somebody there's the kettle just seems to be boiling and whistling all day long. Can you accept that? Very familiar. And it's not just any old tea, it's a special blend of tea, isn't it? It's like traditional tea with a spoon. Would you accept that? Not tea bags. No. Would this be your father then, who would have drunk old-fashioned, traditional, like Brook Bond tea? You would accept that? Yeah, yeah.
I only know in the spirit.
That's lovely. Well, thanks for working with me. That's lovely. I hope you've taken some benefit and some energy from that. Is there a question you wish to ask, by the way?
No, but thank you very much.
That's lovely. Okay, well, if you think of anything later on, just step forward. Okay, that's lovely. Thank you. That's marvellous. Thank you. Excellent. Yeah, it's lovely. Today is perfect. Oh. Yeah. Just takes a second or two for the gentleman to depart and for my next connection to come in. I have this lady that's stepping forward now, and as she comes close to me, I feel as she comes in, I have a mother figure here. I don't think it's grandmother, I do feel it's mum. And she comes in, a lot of warmth, a lot of love, and a lot of busy person. She's just coming in with so much energy. She's not particularly tall. She's around about 5'5", possibly 5'6". She's a little full in the figure, just a little full in the figure. This was during her well years. I do know that towards the end of her life, she would have had a debilitating condition with her mind. I wouldn't necessarily say it was Alzheimer's, but there was something there that affected her balance, it affected her general stability, it also affected her ability to speak. So there was very much a destabilizing condition in her head. Can anybody take this information so far? You think I might be with you? And I've got both of you here, but and one on the back row. We'll see if we can expand on that. The name Mary will be associated in some way, not necessarily this lady's name, but the name Mary will be a connection with her. That's your middle name, yeah. That's lovely. Are we still with the person at the back? No, I'll work with you if I may, then, please, my dear. And as she comes close to me, I do know that this caused her a great deal of frustration. Would you accept that? And most unusual for her would make her quite bad-tempered as well, because of the problems that it caused, not only herself but others and those around her. Would you understand this with her? And I feel it was a long and progressive condition. And first of all, she doubted that there was anything wrong. Would you understand that as well? Yeah. And she kept brushing it off. But when she eventually did go and seek professional help, it was a shock. Can you understand this as well? And the prognosis that she received as well was a shock. Would you accept that as well? Yeah. But and you understand that little by little, a little bit of her disappeared. A little bit of her just sort of seemed to slip away and never to be replaced. Though there were the odd occasional days of lucidity. Would you accept that as well with her? But I do know as she comes close, and speaking to you earlier, I do know that you're very sensitive, extremely sensitive, in fact. You know, within a moment, within a millisecond that she's with you, you can accept that, can't you? And you know particularly that she comes in and participates in your own interest, in your spiritual adventures, I might say. And I've got October as a month of significance with this lady, a strong significance with her. But I know that she hated the winter time. Would you understand this as well? Despised it, in fact. The darkness was the thing that she was almost a victim of this so-called sad situation where as soon as she got over literally the longest day in the summer, it was kind of like fed that kind of feeling of depression. Would you understand this with her? And but as she comes close, she loves you so strongly, you know, and she just wants to bring you bright colours like yellow, beautiful yellow roses. It's a colour that she would have found really abundant and uplifting. Would you understand that with her? But I feel cigarette smoke. I don't know why. It's coming in very strongly, but it's coming in on my right, like it's associated with a gentleman. Would you understand this as well? But it's a really unique smell, kind of something like you don't smell any longer, like one of the old-fashioned tobaccos. Like, can you understand this? It comes just wafting around me, like it's powerful. It's quite overpowering, and I do know that the house that this was smoked in would have always perpetually smelt of it. Could you accept this as well? And as soon as you open the door, you could detect it. And nobody else within the family unit would have smoked this. It was apportioned to just this one individual. Can you understand that? And you also feel his presence around you as well, don't you? You feel
Yeah, I think I do.
yeah, less of a love connection, I might say, because he's kind of someone that I feel very much keeps everything bottled up. Would you understand this well? Never kind of shared his feelings, never shared or gelled with people, really. Would you understand that? But if somebody actually could have lived quite happily on his own and never been in a relationship, so there wasn't a lot of warmth. But from the other side now, I do feel the fact that he's come in now to enforce the love from this dear lady is for the reason of showing that he always loved you, always loved you. And I've got this really powerful, beautiful, bright blue with this lady as she comes through, and it's a kind of a halfway house between a sky blue and a royal blue. It's really intense. It's a lovely, lovely colour, and I love working with colour. I'm a pranic healer, so I work with colour, and I feel this colour is being brought to you in such abundance to kind of bring out that wonderful healing, that wonderful, powerful love for your fellow human being. And you wish to channel that in the form of healing energy. Can you accept that? How you have that? And you've become, you know yourself, in the time that you've been associated with working with spirit, how your power has grown, has flowered and blossomed into something way, way beyond what you ever expected. You remember, as when you first started, you were a skeptic, weren't you? You just,
No, I never was.
no, but you did never ever understood that you had such power.
Yeah, I never understood.
No, would you accept that?
Yeah.
Beyond your wildest dreams, and little by little, it's the knowing and the understanding has become built up within you. And you're a little powerhouse. You're like a Duracell battery, you know. And you can almost put your hand on anybody, and basically just yeah. And it's marvelous to see. You actually your auric field when you sat near me a little while ago is almost pushing me off my chair, and you're almost pushing the dear lady next to you off her chair, and it's very, very expansive. And it's quite unique. I can look around this audience here this evening, and there's a good few people here that are natural healers. That you can just see it. The energies are marvelous, and you have a wonderful gift, a wonderful, unique gift that people connect with you easily. You're somebody that is truly a people person, and that's a marvelous thing to have, because you don't like to be alone. You like to be amongst folk, and that's right, isn't it? You love to be amongst folk, but you also love to be sometimes in the peace and quiet of spirit, to just close your eyes and just feel that wonderful spiritual energy just fall over you, and the connection is divine. Now, I've spoken to that lady earlier about the wonderful gift of just slipping your shoes off and just grounding, and when you do that, that energy you're just like a pylon. You know what I mean? You're like the Sandy Heath transmitter. The wonderful energies just and you just feel them, don't you? You know, you'll live to be 110. You know the way you're going, because the energies are just just marvelous, and you've learned to use them. You can. I found actually I quite upset my grandson once. I found that I could kind of flick an energy, and he felt it in his stomach, and he might be 20 feet away, and he thought it was funny, so we had a bit of a game with this. But you have that power yourself. You have that power. You can give healing to someone thousands of miles away, and they could ring you back in 10 minutes and say they could feel it. And that's unique. It's so special. Yeah. And who's this person that's watching out for robins all the time, that connects with you? Always looking for little birds. And I feel robins is the bird that seems to be the one that's their big connection. There's something connection to the spirit side. Somebody around you seems to have this fascination with robins, always looks for robins. No, it's not with you, is it, madam, next to you? It's somebody looking for, loves robins, always has loved robins. It's not a Christmas thing either.
They used to call me Jenny Wren because my name was Jenny.
Yeah, yeah. I felt they're small birds. Yeah. What I'm coming to here is that this growth, this spiritual growth, I'm being told, is coming into a point of major expansion beyond, again, another growth episode beyond your expectation, way beyond your expectation. People will see sparks coming from your hands when you heal. They will see sparks. Literally, the energy will be visible to looking at you work in a half light. And you spoke about the circle. Has anybody done some astral travel with you? Yeah. You've done astral travel? I've been told about astral travel. Yeah. My word, that's so fantastic. Yeah. But it's going to happen again. And you will teach other people how to astral travel. That's marvellous. That's brilliant. Well, thanks for working with me. And I'd like to share myself around a little bit if I can. That's right. But thanks for that. Do you have a question at all? No. Well, just enjoy your spiritual adventure because it's special. Lovely. Thank you. These energies are marvellous, Nick, tonight. It's just superb. Yeah. Right. I'm going to come to someone up near the back there. I've got a younger individual who's passed to the spirit side, and not too long ago, I feel literally within 10 years, and this younger gentleman, a fair-haired young lad, blonde hair, I feel suffered traumatic injury. I'm not certain yet at the moment if it's traffic related, but I do feel a traumatic injury. There's somebody up the back there, and 20-ish, would I be right? Around 20-ish, around that sort of age. A very dynamic young lad, somebody who was snuffed out in the prime of his life. Could you accept this here? Yeah. Is there anybody else that can take this? I'm quite happy actually. I've already got this link. This link here is already strengthened. What a strong young person. Could you accept this? Very dynamic, athletic as well. Would you accept this? Very sport loving as well. Would you understand this as it comes close? But would it be a traffic accident? Would it be traffic? But it just feel a cataclysmic injury. Would you accept that? Yeah. And as he comes close, would the description, incidentally, of a blonde hair, blue eyes young man, short haired, very smart looking person, playful soul, wasn't he? Always joking, always light-hearted, always wanted fun. There was no serious side to him, I feel, and yet clever. As he comes close to me, I do know that to reconnect to you is a great joy to him. It's an enormous joy to him. He wants so much. Just come and give you a bloody great hug. Can you accept this? He just wants to bring you that love that was so drastically and so terribly cut off from you. I've kind of having the wind knocked out of my sails here, energy-wise. I feel, was it a compression injury here? Was there something to do with his chest in this injury? I just kind of feel a difficulty breathing for that moment. I don't know if I'm going to fall off. I understand, yeah. But as he comes close, though, he was a young lad who had this very strong connection with a large circle of friends. Would you accept that as well? Yeah. And he was kind of like a bit of a ringleader amongst those. They gravitated towards his energy for fun and for sport. And can you understand this with him? And his interests went off into different areas, even darts. Can you understand that? Something like darts, you would have liked that, or snooker. Would you understand this, Paul? No, because I'm being shown this, you see. And can you accept with him that December was a month of significance? I'm not sure whether that necessarily is involved around Christmas time, but I do feel that December was a month that was significant to him, especially to him, and not so much to yourself. You're not sure, Matt? Just hold on to that. And who's Mark? Yeah. It's a bit like family favourites. I've said this before. When people come in who connect with that individual, they like to be remembered. And this young lad, Mark, or the name Mark, is also associated with somebody that's passed. Can you understand that? I don't think I've moved on, but the name Mark comes in there. But yeah, I've got blue again with this young man. I don't know what the reason for that is. It's not to do with football connection. Is it blue? No, royal blue. Really, really strong royal blue comes in with this young man. Strong royal blue here. I kind of abandon that colour because somewhere that's associated with the link between you and himself. And he had siblings. Am I right, this young man? He did. But I feel within the family group, he was very much the one that stood out above all others. Can you accept that with him? I mean, really was kind of the show off, the kind of person that kind of excelled. Would you accept it? And as such, he's so desperately missed. Would you understand that as well? And I use that terminology where somebody that passes leaves everybody else bereft. And this covered a vast circle of individuals who were close and attached to him. Would you understand that with him? But he wants you to know that he's always around you. He's always there. You only got to think of him. Within a millisecond, he will be there. And you never ever feel his presence. You do, because I feel he's around you when you think of him. And he settled in remarkably well on the spirit side, even though at the time of his passing, he felt very cheated because he had plans. He had plans that he wanted to fulfill. And so much, he had such a drive and a determination, which was cruelly snuffed out by his passing. Can you accept this? But on the other side, having settled in, his divine energy has helped so many more people, both on the spirit side and on this side, have been blessed by his connection. And don't ever think when somebody passes that their longing to help just dissipates. It doesn't. Now their vibrant and powerful energies are doing so much good on both sides of creation. But I'll just stay with you just for a moment longer, just to mention that there's something special coming up around either you or somebody close to you. There's a brand new relationship that's formed and it's turning into something very special. Would you understand this? It's like a connection between two young people is building into what will be a long-term relationship and probably marriage. Can you understand that? Somebody close to you. Pardon? You can, yeah. I do feel there's something that's being watched and being nurtured and being encouraged that's close to you. Well, thanks for working with me. And do you have a question at all at this time? You don't know. Let's just think of anything later. I'm not in a rush to leave. Okay? Thank you. Thank you. Thanks for slipping the gin in there, Nick. Yeah. I just might wait for. Oh, I've got a lady stepping forward here, a younger lady. As she comes, my awareness is drawn strongly to her because I think it's the first time that she's come forward. I feel that she only made tender years of around about 40, 42, probably no older than 42 with this lady. As she connects with me, I feel that she had a bit of a rough ride towards the end of her life. I believe she had a cancer that was in this area, in this upper body. Initially, I feel that cancer was dealt with and was treated, and she was well for a period of years, two, 3, possibly 4 years. She had a decent run of life, and but it was to come back, and when it came back, it had manifested. It spread to various other parts of her body, and by that time, I think, and with the delay on recognising the severity of it, I think it went too late to be dealt with. Though she would have gone through chemo, some description, not radiation treatment. I feel chemo. Can anybody take this information so far? Not a very old lady at all. 40, 42. I'm quite happy with 40. You do? 42,
She was 49.
49.
49.
Yeah.
It was her fault that the cancer spread through her body.
I do feel it was widespread.
Literally.
And I feel that the weight fell right off her. There was hardly anything left of her at the time that she would have passed. Absolutely. And the therapy that she had seemed to do more harm than good. Would you understand that?
She was a very strong-willed
person.
But she was given all the advice, but sometimes she wouldn't listen.
Did she never try kind of alternative therapies?
I think she tried everything.
But she comes through a very passionate lady about life, and I feel that she was somebody that was always felt that she was going to win. She was always going to come through this, always going to come through. So there was always that optimistic side of her. She was very much a glass half full person, and I like that because to a last dying breath, she always felt that she had a chance. Can you understand this with her? And but unfortunately, one thing that did irk her a lot, she's telling me, was her reliance on the help of others. Would you understand? Her reliance on the help of others. And she found that quite distressing because to do that went totally against her normal.
She was so independent.
As she comes close, that independence that comes through strongly. And I like her. I do. I do feel that she had very much a spiritual kind of side to her. Could you accept that with her? and she would have connected here beautifully.
Yeah.
And and she was somebody also, again, like so many times this evening, she connected with other people, a people person again. Here we have somebody that could talk to anyone, and she would be distressed or kind of annoyed if that person didn't reciprocate. Can you accept? Yeah, yeah. And she's showing me the most kind of like a sand dune, almost like the Norfolk coast there, somewhere that she would have loved peace and tranquility in like the long grass with
Yeah, she would have liked
she would just love that sort of that landscape of quietness, somewhere like Clyde, somewhere up on the Norfolk coast, somewhere where she could just drift away and be on her own and be in peace and quiet. Is there a dog I can associate with this lady as well? Because I do feel that was something that gave her very much a lust for life, walking a dog and just having that doggy cuddles with her as well. But I also feel, though, she had a terrific sweet tooth. She's telling me about. Yeah, I do feel there was something there that was. I like savouries, you know. I'm not so bothered with sweet, especially the state of my teeth. But I do feel she had this. Yeah, she liked cakes.
Yes.
It's cakes.
She did like
It's cakes. Yeah. So I'm being shown this, you see. There's a bakery called Boswell's there, but not that family link to me by any chance. But oh, the cakes. I've got to just mention to you, just before I move on to somebody else, she's around you again here, and she's encouraging you again. It's encouragement. That's all you seem to be receiving is encouragement, because I feel you came to a little slightly stagnant point there in your life, in your development, and I feel it's just going cataclysmic. Can you understand this? And it's all because all those that love you and revere you are just coming round at this time to just boost you, you know. And you don't need it, because, as I say, you're a Duracell battery, fully charged and ready to go. You know what I mean? And so that's marvellous. I mentioned earlier about our work with coloured energy. Have you ever looked into pranic healing? Pranic healing is working with coloured energy. It's like coloured acupuncture and energy acupuncture. And it's marvellous. The more I've involved myself with it, the more I've been kind of blown away. Just look online, and there's a number of people I know who are instructors, and just bring out something new. And you start working with colour, blimey, there's no telling where you'll go from there. But it's marvellous. Okay, thank you. Excellent. 15, lovely. Okay. All right. Yeah. I've got a lady and a gentleman that's stepping forward here again. The lady, as she comes close, I do feel was the one that passed first. Mum and Dad, I feel it's Mum and Dad. They've just come through so cosily together and walk in. The gentleman's standing back a little more. He's taller than the lady. The lady's around about 5'6", possibly 5'7". It's an average build with this lady. She's got greying hair. And a gentleman comes in, he's a little taller, he's around about 5'9", and again slim build, both in their physical lives, very active people. The lady I do know was somebody who would have had links with a church, would have had some degree of input in a local church, possibly, you know, simple things, putting the hymn books out, something to do with church. She may even have been a church warden, but something to do with the church in some capacity. She certainly had a religious fervour. As they come through, I do feel it's Mum and Dad, and I do feel very much a soft relationship between the two. Though they were as different as chalk and cheese, they got on great. They got on really, really well. Anybody take this information? Somewhere with this lady, there will be a connection with a local parish church. there would be a connection with a church. She would have done something to do with the church, even if it was to publish kind of a church magazine, something she would have been involved with there. And did I see you raise your hand? No. But haven't got anyone online, have we? That's connected in there? No. Yeah. I'll continue with this couple as they come close. I do know that, as I say, it's mum and dad. Can anybody take the physical description of the two? Lady a bit shorter, greying hair. Gentleman actually receding. He's got more hair than me, than most men have. He would have had male pattern baldness on the top, but he had good hair at the sides and the back. It would have both been spectacle wearers, though the gentleman would have not worn specs all the time. Can anybody take this information? You wouldn't have thought. Yeah. But would there have been somehow a church connection to these two people? There was a church connection. Someone I do feel, and it's a C of E connection. Would you understand that? Yeah. Because I do feel there's, wouldn't say necessarily a passion for the church, but a kind of they got kind of stuck in a rut to some extent. Would you understand that a little bit? Would that kind of fit? Yeah. A bit like me, actually. Before I got involved with spiritualist churches, I kind of dabbled a bit in the C of E for a number of years, and then I tried the Methodists. Bit wacky, that lot, so so I tried a few different things, and then when I kind of wandered into a spiritualist church, it was kind of like putting your most comfy slippers on, and I just kind of settled in, and it was marvellous. It is though, isn't it? It's a real wake-up call to kind of change direction, and here I've been ever since. I must add, as this couple come through, that again, your guides from the other side. Can you accept that their presence is around you, and they've watched your gift grow, they've watched your gift flower, and become something truly marvellous and beyond your wildest expectation. Can you understand this? Because you were a natural skeptic, weren't you? You were somebody. Oh, blimey! Don't give me any of that. Can you accept that? And you've moved into a direction which you have never ever believed. Can you accept that as well? And as you meditate, things are just firing up, aren't they? These things are happening that both within and around you. Could you accept this as well? And you see, your mum and dad are fueling all that. They're just coming around you at those times, just to give you that boost, because they want to see you succeed, and they want to see you get the absolute maximum of that what touches your heart. And it does touch your heart, doesn't it? It truly does. And from somebody at one time who could never cry, could you accept that? And now you can't even watch a film with a little bit of weepiness in it before you're a different person. It's changed you to your core essence. You've become different, and those around you can see that, and you feel now that you are a better person. Can you accept that as well? Yeah, and you're happier within your skin. From somebody who was quite shy, an introvert as a younger person, you're now able to speak your mind and to, in confidence, to convey what. Yeah. That's marvellous. It's lovely, and I feel a month that is important to you. We're looking at July, this very month that's coming along very shortly, and I feel there's something there that is truly special to you. Would you understand this? It's not. Yeah. And who's got this love of Italian food? around you? Mediterranean food? There's somebody that loves Italian food, and somebody who really knows how to prepare Italian food. Would you understand this as well as a gift at producing lovely Italian food? But love yeah. Is there some heart arrhythmia with you, by the way? Is this something like a little bit of extra activity with your heart? Can you understand that? Something that's kind of, I don't know if it's anxiety related or whether it's to do with something that goes back to your younger years. Can you understand this? Yeah, yeah. Just feel there's some like kind of a little bit excessive kind of blood pressure. Would you understand that? No, it feels that it's something to do with circulatory, with you. Perhaps I just want you to kind of just get checked. That's all. Just get it looked at, because it's been brought to my attention, and I'm just passing that on to you. And who's had problems with mice? Somebody had problems with mice. I've got things like dust sheets or something that have been a nest within. It's all been chewed up. Have you left something in the garage that's that's attracted some rodents? Check on that. Check on that, because I'm being shown this. Similar thing happened to somebody I knew, and from what one or two ended up in scores of them. But who's had also electrical problems in their home? Trip outs on, and they keep rushing to flick it back up again, and then a little while later it's dropping out again. The telly goes off. It's on that side, not on the lighting. It's on. Could be the mice, you see. It could be the problem. Chewed wires. No, yeah. We'll be aware of that anyway, because it's brought forward for a reason. And who's Joyce? Joyce. Who's Joyce? Joyce or Joy? You do, yeah. It's the old family favourites, I think. Somebody coming in there just to connect with you. And I don't like doing common names, but I've got a George here as well that connects with you. There's definitely a George. Yeah. Yeah. You're not going to vote next week, are you? You have no intention of voting next week, are you? No, because they're telling me this. But they want you to put your cross on somebody, on a wild card. They want you to put your cross on someone you would never have thought of, never ever considered. No, it's obviously important. They wouldn't tell me to tell you. And somebody's causing you some issues close to you with a dependency problem, drugs, alcohol, with an issue. Can you accept that? Somebody's got a dependency issue. Yeah, been mentioned. Might be more severe than you are aware of. Just take that with you. Do you have a question, by the way? No. But if you do, I'm not rushing off. Okay? Thank you. We still got time?
You've got about 2 minutes.
2 minutes. Oh, that's good. A quickie. All right, very quickly then. Yeah. Lady stepping forward now, my awareness is drawn to her. I feel as she comes through, it's a brief connection, but I do know that this lady has not been passed for that long. 5 years, possibly 5 years. I do feel that she would have reached the age of her late 60s, 66, 67. As she connects with me, I do know that passing was very sudden. I feel there was a heart condition, there was a heart-related, not sure it was a heart attack or some form of heart failure. Can anybody take this information? Anybody take this information? Sudden, very sudden with this lady. There was no warning whatsoever. She wasn't living the life of anybody that had any understanding of there being a heart issue. Would you accept that? You can accept that. And it was literally like immediate. The day started off normal and was to finish entirely changed. And would that age of around about, are you both together, by the way? No, you're not. That's interesting that you both sat together. But again, we've got the name Mary. There's an association of Mary with this lady. So I will just briefly work with you. But as she does come close here this evening, she is somebody that you miss greatly. Would you understand that as well? And she just wants to know that what you're doing now is something that she greatly admires. So you're doing something that she is aware of. She is understanding of that. And what I do know that what you are doing is something that you've aspired to for a long while. Can you accept that as well? And she just wants you to just dive in and just enjoy every moment. You're not reading books on the subject at the moment, are you? Are you reading books on the subject at the moment? Is there some study? Yeah. She advises you to throw yourself in at the deep end and just enjoy it. Just enjoy what you do. And don't take it too seriously. Enjoy the wonderful side of it. Can you understand this? Just enjoy this spontaneity of it all. Okay? Well, thanks for working with me. Do you have a question? Yeah. Yeah. Anyway, thanks for that. I kept it brief. So I don't want to blow the time. Okay? Thank you. Bless you.
Ladies and gentlemen, Colin Boswell. Now, I will say that we've had a bit of a debate online because you know how sometimes Spirit will make use of people in the room to get a message to someone? Well, I was proved wrong. There was somebody online who could also accept pretty much everything. If I may just read you the comments, that there is an uncle who was a deacon and an auntie who arranged the flowers. The auntie was WI and very old, involved with the Church of England, has had a mice nest in her car recently, and had an Auntie Joyce. So sometimes Spirit will make use of being two people similar to connect. So she has got a question to ask. So after the service, can I ask it of you? I'll record you saying it and then I can send it to her. Are you satisfied now, Reverend? Are you happy? The last time everyone saw the lady in question, she was as large as life, if not larger, because I had her filling up the entire screen at the back room because we had a photo taken together that way. But yes, so I'll have a word with Colin afterwards, darling. There you go. She's adamant about asking. She sent me a question before you'd even started. If you get a chance, would you ask him something for me? So now she's made the connection. You know, that's what she wants. Question asked. She's spent a lot of time thinking about something, you see, and she'd like an answer to her thoughts. Ladies and gentlemen, please give a big thank you to our medium tonight, Colin Boswell. I've got to say, I love the way you work. I love your humility. I love your humour. I love your gentleness. And asking the question at the end is just you. And it's a wonderful way of working. But don't you find whenever you're working, there's like Oh, I've always got this question. I've been thinking about this for years. The one time you turn around and say, ask a question, there goes the tumbleweed. Being put on the spot is really, really difficult. So my suggestion is, have a diary with you, and every time you think of something, write it in your diary. Have a think about it. Have a think about it. And then next time Colin's here, have your diary with you and a pen, and just randomly flick to a page, stick your pen down and ask your question. There you go. Make good use of it. Make good use of it. But I hope you've all had a wonderful evening. I know I have. And one last time, a big thank you, Colin! Thank you also to everyone online who's been engaged, involved. Even those of you that were late, you are forgiven. But most importantly, thank you all for being here tonight. Please be reminded there is lemon drizzle and blueberry. There's sausage rolls. There's biscuits. There's tea. There's coffee. There's conversation. There's chat. But there's also, in a few minutes, a raffle. And I know Barbara's going to be disappointed because I can see at least 2 pieces of chocolate on there. So, sorry, Barbie. But we're going to have our closing prayer, and then we will say our good nights and have our raffle. But let's join together one last time, my friend. As we say, Great Spirit, divine universal source of all creation, we thank you for being able to come together in this place tonight, to witness your proof and your truth, to send out our thoughts and an opportunity to provide healing, an opportunity to provide upliftment, and most importantly, an opportunity to be a part of a community. And so let us take with us that spirit out into our daily lives, each day and each week ahead, as we work together to do that thing that so many people ask for. Let us have the strength and courage to do ourselves. Make earth as it is in heaven, an uplifting place of joy, community, and respect. We know that that burden is on us, Great Spirit, so in the days ahead, we remind ourselves that we ask you not to move the mountain. Just give us the strength to climb. Until we meet again in your name, amen. And I'm going to say one thing about next week. I, as you know, have already said it, but it's a reminder. It's not my business. I don't want to know, and I don't care who you vote for. Just make sure you do make your voice heard and represent yourself as part of the bigger number of statistics, so that our leaders for the next 5 years will at least attempt to be a true representation in proportion of who lives in this country and who is a part of this country and who pays their taxes in this country and lives in this country, irrespective of gender, sexuality, historical race, cultural reference, or anything else. We live in a pluralistic society, and the one thing that is most important about that is to keep on doing it and live our lives in compassion and kindness and look beyond borders and boundaries. But you must stand for your highest self-conscience, and you must hold these people to account, because every 5 years we get the opportunity to do so. Please exercise it, no matter what you decide. Make sure you have your voice heard. Thank you. Here endeth the first lesson. It took me a long time to think about that one. Ladies and gentlemen, God bless you all. And after 3, to all of them at home, from all of us here, 1, 2, 3. And God bless you all. We're off.